The ultimate martial scroll of the Northern Heavenly Sect is the Northern Heavenly Sect itself, he said to himself. When the sun starts to set in the west, the ruined walls of the Northern Heavenly Sect start to cast a shadow on the ground. These walls are known as the Wall of 10,000 Shadows. The mysterious patterns on these walls turn into writings when drenched in sunlight, and these writings were based on a forgotten language from the Lower Moon Kingdom. The Wall of 10,000 Shadows was built by the first sect leader, Book Jin-Hu, and contained all of his writings, and this continued all the way down to the fourth-generation sect leader, Jin Quan-ho. For this reason only, my father made me learn the language of the Lower Moon Kingdom rather than practicing martial arts at an early age. To these people, the writings on these walls may merely look like ancient engravings. That is because it's intended for me to be the only one who can read the language of the Lower Moon Kingdom. Because of this reason, it may seem like I'm simply wasting my time being up here. He thought to himself, I hope these guards continue to believe that. No, I have to continue making them believe that. The combined teachings of the previous sect leaders are all written here. I still have a long way to go before I completely learn the ultimate martial art of the Northern Heavenly Sect, Gathering of the 10,000 Shadows. As long as I'm being watched by the Central Heavenly Alliance, I can't bring any unwanted attention to myself. I need to keep everything hidden and patiently wait for my chance. Then, a figure in the distance caught his attention. Mr. Huang. Huang Qiu, a former warrior of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Self-defense was the extent of his martial arts, and as such, he was the weakest warrior in the Northern Heavenly Sect. However, nobody could match his loyalty and devotion to the sect. After leaving the Northern Heavenly Sect, he worked as a wandering merchant and would do his best to bring supplies for Jin Muwan. Huang Qiu was a lonely orphan who never once had any talent in martial arts. While all the other sects rejected him, the Northern Heavenly Sect accepted him. The sect leader, Jin Quan-ho, did everything he could to train Huang Qiu the basics of martial arts so that he could at least protect his own body. Huang Qiu had never forgotten that kindness. Due to this reason, while everyone had left and moved on from the Northern Heavenly Sect, he was the only one who still continued to do everything he could for Jin Muwan. Ho ho. Have you been doing well, young master? Mr. Huang asked. I have, Mr. Huang. How about you? Muwan answered. Me? I'm the same as always. As Muwan gets closer, Mr. Huang says. Oh boy, it seems you've gotten a lot taller since the last time I met you. Huh, is that so? Thank you for coming all the way to see me again. Muwan replies. He notices the injury on Muwan's hand, and with some dissatisfaction asks. Young master, did those bastards hurt you again? Was that done by the new guards? It wasn't them, Mr. Huang. They didn't do anything. Don't worry about it. Huh. He says, while hiding his hands behind him. I accidentally hurt my finger when I was blacksmithing. Huang Kul said, not convinced. I hope you're not lying to Muwan cuts, trying to change the topic. Mr. Huang, you didn't have to bring this much for me. Muwan continues, you should start living for yourself now, Mr. Huang. I'm already thankful for all that you've done, but my heart cannot do that. Without the Northern Heavenly Sect, I would have been rotting away in Murim. Young master shouldn't be living his life this way as well, the old man says with some dejection. Huh. Just then, he notices something unusual on the cart. Why is there a rock here? Ah. I got that when I went to Unnam. The old man said, it was a rock that fell from the sky, and a certain tribe worshipped it as a sacred object, but, that tribe was massacred. So the rock doesn't belong to anyone anymore. Massacred, he says with surprise on his face. He coughs. It seems they fought the Broken Fists troop. Upon hearing this, Muwan's face darkens. And the Broken Fists troop, the old man continues, has decided to settle down in Unnam. After betraying the Northern Heavenly Sect, each of the Great Four of the Northern Heavens made their own martial force in Murim. The Cursed Ghost Blade, Yun Chionhua gathered a group of elite Chi sword users and settled down in the west. They became known as the Protectors of the Western Heavens. The Tempest Storm, Kyung Mu Sang assembled a group called the Billowing Clouds but hasn't made any move. The Iron Blood Ruler, Jae Hyukshim supposedly had the biggest martial force and built the Iron Castle in the north. The Demon Fist, Jo Cheonwoo who was known for his cruel and vicious nature created a bloodthirsty group called the Broken Fists Troop. The old man seeing his mood tries to raise his spirits and change the topic. That's right. Since the young master has picked up blacksmithing, I brought some iron for you to use. Muwan replies with a forced smile. Oh, really? I'll put it to good use, Mr. Huang. Anyhow, it's getting pretty cold, let's head inside. I'm always thankful for what you do, Mr. Huang. He says while carrying cloth wrap in. It's nothing, young master. A guard yawns. He was watching their interaction from the shadows. So that man is Huang Qiu. He's nothing special, but it's unfortunate that the descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect is in such a pitiful state. He walks as if he has no purpose in life, wastes his time in the forge, and climbs the top of a tower and gazes at the sky. I can't sense any chi or martial arts from him. That boy truly has nothing. That time when he talked about the Central Heavenly Alliance and the Great Four of the Northern Heavens. If he refined his story a little bit more, it would have been more believable. He said with a look of pity. For such a young age, he has remarkable decision-making skills. He would have been a strong leader. Suddenly, he notices something flying above, a messenger hawk. After sending us to rot in this shithole, they didn't even contact us once. And now they're telling us some highly esteemed guests are going to come over? The captain says while tossing the message to a scared man beside the vice captain. Vice captain. Start repairing one of the royal buildings first thing in the morning. Understood. The vice captain say with some hint of embarrassment. Please make yourself at home, Mr. Huang. Mu-won said while he put the bag down. Your teas are always the best, young master. The old man compliments. What's happening in the world right now? Mu-won asked with some enthusiasm. Let's see. That's right. The recent talks are all about a certain martial artist making a name in the world of Murim. His name is Dam Sucheon, who stated that he will challenge 100 martial artists and win them all. Dam Sucheon. Interest shown on his face. Dam Sucheon is the third son of one of the 9 skies, the unkillable master Dam Jikshim. At first, people laughed at him and did not take him seriously. After all, he was merely a boy at the age of 18. But every time he challenged someone, he would wreak havoc and destruction. Now his very essence brings fear and adoration from the people of Murim. I believe Dam Sucheon has challenged 93 people. If he manages to win 7 more, then he would set one of the greatest records in the history of Murim. People are calling this the 100-man challenge. Wow. And he's only 18 years old. Mu-won replied with some dejection. At the rate he's going, Dam Sucheon will most definitely become a formidable pillar in the world of Murim. According to rumors, he's apparently heading north. He's impressive. Do you have any other news? Mu-won asked. Let's see. They went on to have a long chat. Mr. Huang, you should stay and rest a bit, he says while putting the rock on the table. But unfortunately I can't. I'll be back after the winter, young master. Forgive me for not being of more use to you. That's not true, Mr. Huang. You've done more than enough for me, Mu-won said gratefully. He watched the old man vanish in the snow, standing alone. He turned to leave and ran into the vice captain. Master Jean. I've been looking for you, he said. It seems some esteemed guests of the Central Heavenly Alliance are coming next spring, so we were planning to repair and use the Watchin Palace. Do what you want. That building has long since been abandoned, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Mu-won said with indifference. If that's all you have to say, then I'll take my leave. Okay. The vice captain struggled to say. He left the vice captain, passing by the home of 10,000 spirits. He looks for a while and turns to leave. Getting home, he opens the door, and sees traces of someone entering. He stops to look around for the intruder. Just then, a dark figure lunges at him with a knife, gripped by a bloody fist. He freezes in fear and the intruder speaks. Who are you? A woman's voice. He notices. Do you mean? That's what I should be asking you. Before he can finish his statement, the mysterious figure presses the knife to his throat. I asked you first, the figure said. He says in fear. I'm the owner of this place. The owner? Then are you telling me you're the descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect? The mysterious figure asks. That's correct. Mu-won replies. Now it's your turn to answer my question. The mysterious figure starts, before dropping the weapon to the floor and collapses. He turns around immediately with fear and worry. A badly wounded woman in black lies collapsed on the floor, bleeding heavily, her long black hair splayed around her, with a wound on her shoulder. Why is there a woman here? What the hell is going on? He looked down at her, panicked. Is she a criminal? What should I do? He crouches beside her. Wait, I need to first see if she's alive or not. He checks her breathing. She's still breathing. He looks up at the snowy night sky above a pagoda tower, overwhelmed. Why is this happening to me? He rushes through the snow carrying her. He sets her down and examines her wound closely. His eyes go wide. Is that poison? He stares at the dark, festering wound spreading across her shoulder. It looks like she got attacked by some deadly poison chi. He pulls open a drawer and finds a small medicine pouch inside. That's right. I have the internal protection antidote. It's the only one I have left. He hesitates. Huang Kole's face appears in his memory, holding up the same medicine pouch. The young man sighs. I'm making a big sacrifice by using this. He looks at the unconscious woman. Sigh. I don't even know who this woman is. He stares at her in silence, then mutters to himself. Whatever. He carefully takes out an acupuncture needle, his hand trembling slightly. Carefully, he kneels beside her and begins placing the needles. The needles go into the wound one by one. He exhales with relief. I did everything I could. Seems like she stopped bleeding. He sits beside her bed, wiping his forehead. The woman lies still, needles still in her wound bandaged. He looks at her quietly. Anyhow, he gazes at her pale, bloodied face. Who are you, and where did you come from? He sighs. The woman lying on one bed, him sitting at a desk nearby. I keep getting more and more unwanted guests. Time passes. The room is quiet and still, the woman resting in bed, her wounds now neatly bandaged in white cloth. She wakes up suddenly, her eyes flying open in alarm. She gasps, "What?" She tries to leap up but winces sharply from the pain. Ouch! She clutches her side and looks around the room, disoriented. What happened? She sees her blood-soaked red outfit folded on a nearby table. She looks at her bandaged chest. Who healed me? She questions. She hears movement in the next room. Muwon is there, stirring a pot. Oh, you're awake? Just give me a second. I'm almost done with your porridge. She stares at him, confused. Huh. She recalls what happened previously. She steps out quietly and moves through the dark corridors, while injured. A door creaks. She spots a shadow at the end of the hall and draws a blade. She screams inwardly, then bursts forward. Before Muwon could react, she shoves the knife right up to his face. Who are you? She sits in the dim room, piecing things together. Ah, that's what happened. She pauses. But, why did that man heal me? The young man enters carrying a tray with a steaming bowl of porridge. I thought you were as good as dead, since you were asleep for 3 days. She shoots up. Huh? I was asleep for 3 days. She stares at him, still suspicious. But wait, why did someone like you heal me? He sets the tray down, frustrated. First of all, I don't know if you were an assassin sent to kill me, or just a passerby on the verge of death. He places the bowl on the table beside her. But I can't stand the sight of someone dying in front of me, so I couldn't just leave you to die. He looks away, with a gloomy expression. At the very least, I never want to see someone die in my house again. She watches him silently. She thinks to herself, it doesn't seem like he has ill intentions. And I also can't detect any chi from him. Is he actually doing this out of goodwill? He looks back at her with a puzzled expression. Hurry and eat. Even though I've been feeding you for the past 3 days, it's better for you to feed yourself now that you're awake. She mumbles, He turns to leave, then pauses. She speaks quietly. Then, I'll stay here until I recover. He blinks. Huh. He sighs. Deciding that all on your own, huh? My goodness. He turns back around and asks flatly, what's your name? She glares. Huh? Why do you need to know my name? He crosses his scarf and yells at her. Okay, listen here. Not only did I heal you, I also let you sleep and eat here for free. You also decided to stay at my house all on your own. With all that's happened, shouldn't you at least tell me what your name is? She looks away, flustered. Then quietly she admits, it's Untitled. He nods and tells her there are clothes for her to change into nearby, and food in the storage room that should last a couple of months if she eats frugally. I'll be in the building next door, so if you need anything you'll know where to find me. Hurry and eat before the porridge gets too cold. He walks out the door. She sits alone in the silent room. She thinks to herself, holding her bandaged side. I'll need to first recover my internal energy, and draw out the poison slowly. I believe his name was Jin Muwon. Why is he going out of his way for someone like me? Does he not know who I am? She mutters, what a weird guy. Outside, Jin Muwon stands on the rooftop of the building in the snow. Workers can be seen below doing repairs on the compound grounds. He thinks to himself, all of this is a big risk, since it's uncertain who she is or where she's from. But the fact that I just willingly let her stay here. He looks out into the snowy night sky. Was I really that lonely? He smirks. Untitled. It's a pretty name. Days pass. Jin Muwon stands outside his room in the snowy night, looking at the closed door. She hasn't left the house in 3 days again. Is she okay? Inside, Untitled sits in the dark, deep in a meditative state, struggling. In the end, I could only recover half of my internal energy. Sigh. But I have no time. She sees the poison writhing inside her, dark tendrils spreading from a black core at the center of a glowing energy field. It's the most dangerous poison out there. The consuming flames of darkness. Jin Muwon. I don't know what antidote he used. But since the medicinal properties are starting to dwindle, it seems the effects of that antidote is almost gone. It's getting harder for me to counteract the poison. It's dangerous, but I'll need to draw out the rest of the poison with whatever internal energy I've recovered. She strains with effort. Focus. You need to focus, Untitled. Then something goes wrong. The poison surges back violently, lashing out against her chi. She screams in pain. No. She collapses, blood streaming from her mouth, her body giving out. Is this the end? She lies on the floor, barely conscious. I didn't even get to thank him properly. A dark, cloaked figure with glowing white eyes descends from above, moving toward the building.